Okay, so I'll start then. So first of all, a brief disclaimer. I'm Saroj Maharjan from Nepal. I am not associated, employed, or paid by Google. So yeah, if you think I'm working on Google because of this bracket or something, then I'm not, and I'm only uh, participating in Google Summer of Code as a volunteer. So I've been working like volunteering since 2018 as a mentor first, and for the past 2 years, I've been admin for Ruby organization, and there are various projects within the Ruby org for Google Summer of Code, which I help to manage. And so this presentation is introduction to like Google Summer of Code, what the program is, what are the benefits, like how we can get involved and such. And this is not like Google propaganda or something. And uh, mm, previously, I was also like a participant for uh, Microsoft Student Partner, like when I was in college. So uh, that's from where I started like my journey into this IT computer programming world. So yeah, let's start. Like what is Google Summer of Code? Then if you want to know that, then we need to know first of all what is open source. So open source is any piece of code like which is open like which has open source license and can be changed, modified, and redistributed. Uh, so this allows for collaboration and like building on, we say like building on the shoulder of giants. So and yeah, uh, like this has the open source community has dedicated developers like you can see like from Linux to all the major like breakthroughs nowadays are happening on open source. So like ChatGPT was like also built on the open source platform and such. So and Google Summer of Code advances like tries to advance this a step further by providing a platform for like newcomers to join in the existing projects, like by matching the students or the new contributors to the open source projects. Like there are certain guidance, like there are dedicated members which newcomer will be paired with, so that they can easily like start programming on the code and contribute meaningful development to the like real project. So you can also think of this like internship that you do in your college, like you join a company and do real world coding practice, but like sometimes you have to do everything on the internship yourself, but here it is more of like a mentorship. So uh, uh, the mentor will guide you on every step of the way, so that you can like easily get acquainted with the open source community as well as how to contribute on the like project you are working on. Okay. Okay. Uh, yeah. Like I said, this Google Summer of Code is um, called like GSOC in short form, and this is a global program which is open for everyone, like all over the world except a few like countries like embargoed by US. And from past 2 years, this So this program is open to not only students but also beginners of open source. So like most of the developers I know like don't do open source work. So if you were thinking of like contributing to open source, then this might be a good idea to you. It is not mentioned here, but you also get some stipend like allowance kind of thing, and you are not working for free. And so like I don't get paid, but students are okay. And uh, one condition for like beginners in open source is you have to be 18 years or older. And regarding the projects, like there are two sizes of projects. One is like 3 months nearly, which is 175 hours, and another is like 5.5 months, 350 hours, which is large projects. And this is like 12 to 22 weeks. And uh, yeah, so as I said, like you get some stipend. And the goal of Google Summer of Program is to like not only like uh, grab new developers to the open source community, because like people use the open source tools, and they don't even have to pay for it. And so who contributes for the development? So uh, we need like people who are excited enough to contribute like new tools and technologies. So Google provides a platform by um, sending like money and uh, like the stipend I mentioned, and also like organizing this whole Google Summer Code program. And this is open to all the open source projects. So any open source project can join, which has like the open license. And yeah, this helps like a developer to get acquainted with the community as well as the code. And this keeps contributors like exposure to the real world program. Like whenever like when a fresh student like graduates from college, then he doesn't have any experience. So this provides like an opportunity for the like the student to uh, get to know about how uh, the development process happens in the real world. And like this is I think a good like plus point for the like new graduate to put on the CV, so that like yeah, I have some experience. You can see like my pull request got more, I did this, and I know how to use Git and everything. So uh, not only that, like your code will like live on the open source world. So yeah, this will allow like bundling of the uh, open source code, so that like the developer may like in future continue working on the open source project. Yeah. So how does GSOC work? Like the open source projects will apply to be mentors for the organizations, and Google will choose the organization like to participate. Like sometimes there can be some like spam or something, so they'll weed them out. And the contributors like the students will submit the project proposals to like those mentor organizations. Like the organizations will first list the software projects, like which projects we want to work on, and the contributors will submit the proposals for there. So the contributions can come from any part of the world. Like mostly the contributors are students from India. So I would like to like see more engagement from Nepal, like students from Nepal or developers from here. And yeah, that would be a huge point, plus point. Like for the past 5 years I've been managing, I haven't seen any developers from Nepal uh, there. And yeah, after the students submit the projects, then the mentor will choose the like contributors they think they'll be the best fit who can get the tasks done, as well as uh, like get some experience. Like you don't have to have like working experience or anything. Like you should know like which programming language you are working on. So we are talking about Ruby, so you should know basic Ruby if you are a student. And yeah, and the contributors are paired with the mentor, so they'll guide you through every step of the way. You sometimes you can get their like personal email or phone number, or like Slack or something, and you can always talk them out or do a daily stand up, or and ask if you get stuck or something. Yeah, and after that, like the coding period starts, and you work on the project like full time. So yeah, so uh, actually the Google Summer of Code is like there are spring breaks in the US. So in the summer there are like the colleges are off, and usually go vacationing or work on something like on the restaurant or something. And why not like this work on contributing to the open source community. So this is where the idea comes from. And yeah, like I mentioned, these are some frequently asked questions. Like there are two project sizes. I mentioned 3 months and 5.5 months. So it depends on the type of project you want to work on. And yeah, so anyone can participate as long as you are 18 or you are like contributing for the first time in open source. And yes, some programming experience is required. Yeah, and during like the coding period, there are two evaluation periods. One is the uh, midterm evaluation, and another is a final evaluation. And you have to pass the evaluation to get paid the stipend. And uh, at the conclusion, like at the end, you have to submit your code project, as well as like preferably like blog post or something like you have done this and I learned this, or things like that. So obviously, when you pair with an expert, you gain some significant knowledge. And the eligibility, like I mentioned, you have to be 18 and student or first-time contributor, and not from any country embargoed by US, and not you have not participated in the SOC for more than once. Yeah, and this is the timeline for Google Summer of Code 2023, and uh, the organizations are already accepted and announced, and Ruby is selected, so you can uh, start submitting the proposals for the projects you want to work on. And the submission uh, time starts from March 20, which is like a few days from now. And you can see the timeline, like starts recording, and finally it ends on November 6. So this is like a few months time scale. uh, and generally like it will require full-time kind of work on working the projects. And this is the statistics, like Google Summer of Code started in 2005, and there are normally like 200 projects accepted in a year. and there are like 19,000 plus participants and 112 countries. Maybe Nepal will be included this year. Let's see. And uh, yeah, there are like more than 800 open source organizations participating, and there are like 18,000 plus mentors from many countries. You can see 133, and like 42 million lines of code has been produced. So this is the statistics since 2005 up to last year. Yeah, and this is a short video. Let's see if this gets played. No, the video is not played. Maybe I share the link later. Okay. And this is some of the organization accepted on like last year. You can see like there are many more organizations like Ruby Science, and OpenStreetMap, and Git, and others like FOSSTOM. And you can imagine like OpenStreetMap is a non-profit project, and you cannot generate any money. So how is it funded? Like this Google Summer of Code provides some funding like for the stipends, and it helps to keep the development going, like similar to Ruby. Yeah, and these are you can see the link at the bottom. This some of the other projects that are selected here. I only searched for Ruby, and I think these uh, organizations are accepting like coding in Ruby. So yeah, but I'm only involved in the first one as admin. It's a disclaimer, and this was my tweet for like adding ideas to uh, Ruby GSoC, and Matt's retweeted it. So yeah, and for these are some of the ideas which are listed for Google Summer of Code 2023. The first one is for MRI, and there are quite a few for JRuby and Truffle Ruby, and Scarpe as well. Scarpe is like a modern version of Suse.rb. You can make a GUI application with it, and to get detailed um, like info on these ideas, you can go to the link shown on the screen. Yeah. And if you like these things I said are for like previously are for um, participating as a contributor or student, and yeah, but if you want to be a mentor at Google Summer of Code, then it is not necessary, but it is like good like if you are already a code contributor or committer for the open source project, like a core member or something, then better. I guess like you can also talk with the project members, uh, and if you have you should have like enough experience with the programming language, let's say Ruby, and the project you want to like mentor on, let's say Rubocop or something, then you should know some internals so that you are able to explain that to your like mentee, uh, and uh, you should have some experience like guiding beginners or juniors. Yeah, so that you can help them along the way, like they can come up with a million questions and you should be able to answer them. And there are also like a mentor summit for the mentors, and student summit for the students. Like this was one which I participated in, I think in 2019. And uh, this is also another video. I think it's not playing. And these are some of the links you can go into, like the g.co/research is the main site for the summer code. And yeah, I'll share the slide as well. Okay. And yeah, besides this, Google Summer of Code, there is a separate program for Google Season of Docs. This is for like the documentation section. This is unrelated to Google Summer of Code. Like most of the time during like development, we often forget to write the documentation, like how to get it started and how to contribute to the open source projects. So this program from Google aims to like solve those problems and introduce better documentation to the open source projects. And yeah, this also gives the opportunity for uh, professional technical writers to like contribute to the open source programs and get some experience like in open source, like yeah, and help to improve the documentation. You can see like know more about uh, Google Season of Docs in the link below. And I'm also an admin for this Google Season of Docs, which we started this year only. So I have added an idea like to uh, how can we um, install Ruby on Windows natively. Like there are a few ways, but mostly nobody knows and about it and uh, installs them on like installs Linux and uses Ruby like development on Linux or VM such. So yeah, uh, yeah, that's about it. If you have any questions, then please let me know.